Welcome to More Than a Few Words, a marketing conversation for business owners. This is your host, Lorraine Ball. And if you're trying to grow your business, one of the best places to go is where other businesses hang out, and that's LinkedIn. But maybe you're there and maybe you don't feel like you're getting noticed, getting traction, building the community you want to build. Well, that's what today's conversation is about. I've invited Deanna Russo to join me. She started Leverage Up to pass on her knowledge of LinkedIn, and she's got some knowledge. She grew her following from 400 to 30,000, 30,000 and counting. And her goal is to help other people achieve all the benefits that she's learned on her own. Deanna, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Lorraine.
I am so excited that you could join me because I'm in this process. I've been on LinkedIn for a really long time and really didn't get serious about it until about a year ago. And I feel like I'm making good progress, but I want to learn more. Where do I start?
The very first place that you want to look at is your LinkedIn profile. That is the foundation. That is the concrete of which to build everything else on LinkedIn. And so it's all about why are you there? Who are you trying to reach? And then customizing each piece of that profile to answer those questions.
Okay. I'm getting clear on who I want to reach and I'm customizing my profile. You mentioned when we were talking earlier, before we started the show, about your LinkedIn triangle.
Sure.
Is the profile part of that triangle?
It is. It is. But the reason why it's a triangle is you cannot have one piece without the other two. So while the profile is important, it is your billboard. The other two pieces are essential because you want to get more traffic and more cars driving by your billboard. And so visibility is super important. And so the other two pieces of the triangle are engagement and content. Engagement is shaking hands on LinkedIn. It is where people get to like you. And then content is your megaphone, and it is where people get to trust you. And so the reason why it's a triangle is you really cannot have one piece without the other two. They are really connected. And then if that triangle were to transform into a pyramid to go 3D, consistency would be the fourth piece. You got to keep showing up.
Absolutely. So I see a lot of people that get the first two right, that they have a good profile, you know what they're about, and they're putting out content. They may even be doing it consistently. But for me, I see the biggest place where businesses fall down is on good engagement. Are there some tips, not just for, hey, great post. Hey, great post. Gee, that was that works okay for a little while, but if you want to get beyond it, what should I be doing? How should I be doing it to really get on people's radars?
Comment the way you would talk to someone in person. Just the way we're having a conversation today is how we should comment on LinkedIn. So just talk to me like I am a human. That's all. And it doesn't have to be filled with lingo or jargon or acronyms. It has to be talking like you're a human. So that's really what it boils down to. And when you're looking for engagement on your own posts, ask us a question, because otherwise you're talking to us instead of with us. And keep an eye on your post when it goes live. Don't post and ghost. You really need to stay with your post for a little bit, about an hour or so, to answer any questions and any comments that are coming in there, because otherwise people are asking questions and people are commenting, and then they're getting greeted with nothing. So make sure that you engage with those people, and they will more likely return to have conversations with you more often, knowing that you do respond to them in those comments.
What do you think about the strategy? I know I've done this sometimes, and I've seen people that do it all the time, of tagging people that you know are going to give you a comment. So you ask a question and tag someone to get the conversation rolling. Good? Cheesy? What do you think?
I would not do it. I would say if someone means a lot to you and they are very supportive of you, then sending a link to that post in the direct messages would be better than tagging. People refer to those tags as spam tags, just tagging to get more visibility. And I am not a big fan of it. I think if people should comment when they want to comment, when it happens organically, that's the best way to really increase engagement. Is you really have to organically let those relationships bloom, and they can in the comments.
I think that's good advice. I do like, and particularly I mean, in full confession, if I do an episode and when this airs on LinkedIn and I'm sharing it, I am going to tag you. But in that instance,
Yes.
I think it's different because you really are part of the story.
It is. Yes. Yes. If we meet up for a coffee and we had a fantastic conversation and we take a selfie of each other, then obviously if one of us goes to post on LinkedIn or both of us, there's a reason to tag there. But when the conversation doesn't really involve that person and you're just tagging to get them to comment, that is where I say it's a no-no.
Absolutely. Okay, that is a really nice dividing line for people. So I'm doing all of these things. I'm engaging and I'm sharing content. I'm asking questions and I'm picking up a few people, but I'm not going to get from 400 to 30,000. So what's the secret sauce?
Consistency is really important. When I started creating content on LinkedIn, it was just twice a week, but I kept that schedule up for over a year. And you know what I was doing on those other days? I was having conversations in the comments. And I wasn't paying attention to the fact that I posted a video and it got 5 comments. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that I got maybe 200 views on something, because that will eat at your mind. That will be like, oh my gosh, it's not even worth it to do this. That will be the little gremlin sitting on your shoulder going, don't do it anymore. Don't do it. Give it up. And if you just keep at it on a consistent schedule, then you will see the results. You will notice the differences. You will notice more people looking at your profile. And again, going back to that strategy, what are you saying in your profile? Make sure that your profile speaks to who you are and what you do throughout every single part of it before you start creating content. Because if it's half empty, if it's a shell of what it should be, then you're going to have more questions than answers from people. So make sure, the reason why I set up, when I'm working with my clients, the reason why we do profile first is it's got to be the concrete that everything is built on. So that's why it's super essential. And then we teach engagement, and strategic engagement is one of the things that I teach. It's basically like going to that networking event and seeing all of those people talking, and imagine that there are signs hanging over the conversations telling you what everybody's talking about. I have yet to walk into a networking event and see signs hanging all over the place, but it is the best metaphor I can use to say going to those conversations because they're having conversations that you know you can be part of.
So, Deanna, I got one more question for you about, again, you're getting the views on your profile. You've built out this big profile. What about proactively reaching out for connections? How effective is that? How systematic should I be? What do you think?
I think personalizing the invites is important, but I will say that commenting is very important before you reach out, because people will see you and you will be more visible to them, and they will be more inclined to have that conversation once they see you in the comments. So don't just blindly connect.
Absolutely. I love seeing somebody's content, commenting. I love when somebody comments on my content and I immediately go check them out if I don't recognize their name. So that's such good advice.
Yeah.
You make it sound so easy.
If you just look at LinkedIn like a big networking event, your whole vantage point, the whole viewpoint completely changes. You just need to look at it as we're all there to know, like, and trust each other. And so you get to know them through the profile, you get to like them through the conversations, and you get to trust them through the content. So that's basically, it's not rocket science, but it does definitely takes some work in order to build and to grow and to reach your goals.
Awesome. Deanna, thank you so much for these tips. I know I'm going to look for you on LinkedIn, and I'm going to encourage everybody in my audience to do the same. Look for, it is actually Deanna Russo 1.
That's right. That's the profile. That's the profile link. If you search Deanna Russo, chances are I will pop up there.
Awesome. And there will actually be a link to your profile, to your company website, so people can learn more about you. And honestly, if you're looking to grow your LinkedIn profile, you want to be following Deanna. She's got great tips and great content very consistently. Deanna, thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. And if you've enjoyed this conversation, if you'd like to find other resources for your business, check out morethanafewwords.com. There you'll find hundreds of conversations just like this, workbooks, white papers, and so much more. This has been another episode of More Than a Few Words. Thanks for listening.